My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Licorice Pizza. And this is a movie I refused to watch when it came out due to reasons I'll get into shortly. But I am talking about every Paul Thomas Anderson movie, so I gave it a try, and this movie is abysmal. I hated this movie. It received great reviews. It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and even Best Picture. And that to me is bullshit because I think this movie is just repugnant. I hate this movie so much. Like, let's just address the elephant in the room. That this is a movie about a 25-year-old falling in love with a 15-year-old. Like, that is the basic premise for this movie. And, like, by the end, it actually views it as a positive. Like, what the fuck? Like, honestly. Like, this movie looks up to this pedophile relationship, and that to me is just despicable. I think it is evil, and the commentary it's trying to make doesn't work in any way, shape, or form. Like, if you want to tell a story about these two different people at different points of their lives, you could do that with an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old, or a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. But this big of an age difference at those two ages, it's just so obviously wrong. And I think it says a lot just how much this movie got praised. But aside from that, which is a big, big issue, I don't think this movie works in any way, shape, or form. Like, this movie just feels like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie being made for the sake of it. Like, you're telling a story about a 15-year-old, and you're just telling a story about him starting this business and his acting and this girl getting into acting as well and politics. Like, if you're going to tell a story about younger people, then tell a story that is actually going to be universal. Like, I think Superbad is a fantastic movie, and what's great is that it actually feels like a story made for teenagers. It feels realistic and grounded to a degree, despite how over the top it gets. While this movie just feels like, well, I only know how to make one type of movie, so let's just do that. And yes, that's an exaggeration, but it reminded me when I was watching Killers of the Flower Moon, and at a certain point, it just turned into a typical Martin Scorsese movie, and I'm like, okay, so it's just him falling into what's safe and comfortable for him. And that's what it felt like with Paul Thomas Anderson here. It felt like a type of Punch Drunk Love or Boogie Nights type of story being told with these characters. And I just don't think these kind of stories connect for anyone, to be honest. Like, there's a reason why if you talk to any normal person in real life, they'll talk about Mean Girls and Superbad and just those kind of movies because there's something about them that they can actually relate to. While here, the plot is just so far-fetched and it's just so pretentious when it didn't need to be. And it's just so segmented. Like, sometimes this kind of storytelling can work. Well, it's about one thing, then another, then another. You can tell that kind of story, but here it just did not work for me. It felt completely disjointed. I don't think it had anything to say. I never thought it was entertaining. It's never funny. It's never heartfelt. Just each section was uninteresting to me. So that is why I hate this movie so much, but let's talk about some good things. And I do think the time period of the 70s is brought to life very well. That seems to be Paul Thomas Anderson's speciality. And I do think the performances in this movie are good. Like Bradley Cooper, Sean Penn, and Benny Safdie, fine jobs. Cooper Hoffman, I think, did a really great job. He just plays this character to perfection and he nailed every beat he needed to. But for me, the best performance was Alana Haim. Like, I think she's phenomenal in this movie. And, like, she has so much screen presence. She's so likable and she's just flawless in this movie. Like, she nailed every beat she needed to. And it's a shame that her big star-making tone is in such a piece of shit. Like, she really deserves much better. But I just can't get over the age difference in this movie. It is something that ruins it. I think this movie lacks any bit of morality. I don't think it is as insightful as it thinks it is. I think the storytelling doesn't work. It feels like Paul Thomas Anderson's playing it safe and telling a very uninteresting, unrelatable story. And at the end of the day, I think this movie is just truly atrocious. So I'll give Licorice Pizza a 1 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Licorice Pizza? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.